What's up, future top producers? If you run a Zillow Flex team or you run Zillow ads, this is how to do it as profitably as possible in 7 steps. This is what we do. It's real. I'm going to give you multiple breakdowns and SOPs on how to do it. Number 1, have a clear onboarding process for how to run this system for your agents. Your brand new agents and your experienced agents must have a system that you give them that they know how to follow, and a new agent coming in should be able to learn this. Zillow has a series that they can just follow along and learn, or you can follow ours. We built a 3-week ramp-up training, and it's right here, and it has everything from activations to orientations to buyer foundations to Ylopo, Zillow, graduations. We run them through this for 3 weeks, and what's really nice about this system is if an agent cannot follow it, we release them back to the wild and they don't get our precious Zillow leads. Number 2, you should have clear written expectations for the agents around what they need to do on a weekly basis. Here are ours. Number 1, they have to have a minimum of 30 calls logged in Follow Up Boss to Zillow leads every single week. They must use Follow Up Boss for all calls and all texting back and forth with the clients. They must have a 75% appointment set ratio for every lead that comes in. And finally, they have to use the Follow Up Boss widget for setting appointments. Very easy. This also makes your job as a sales manager or broker team leader a lot easier, because now if somebody doesn't hit these clear metrics, you can turn them off of Zillow. Versus you having to call and explain that they're not doing a very good job, and they're like, well, why? They're like, I don't know. It gives you these clear lines that you can hold people accountable to, and they can choose to hit it or not, and it's ultimately up to them. Number 3, you should have a tiered system for how you distribute leads to your agents. For example, don't give your worst agents, your newest agents, the $1 million leads. And don't give your best agents the $100,000 leads. So we have an A, B, and C tier. Let the new agents, your C tier or your launch team, all your new agents have to work with the 100 or 200,000 and below. Then 200,000 to 800,000, these go to your average agents, the ones that are doing well, but they're not the best. They're not the highest converters. And then 800 or $1 million and above for us, those go to our number 1 converters, because ultimately Zillow wants you to close. And so you want to close the best leads and give them to the best agents. That's going to make them stay. It's going to make them happy. It's going to make sure that you're getting more revenue from the system. Do it. Just do it. Don't give your bottom agents that have no idea what they're doing, don't give them the $2.5 million client, because they're not going to convert. Number 4, you should do a weekly check-in with every agent that receives Zillow leads. So what we do is we get on Zoom and we look at their follow-up boss. Here's me, for example. And what I'll do is I'll actually go through and I'll listen to their call recording live with them, and they'll provide feedback on how they could do better. I will make sure that they're looking to set the appointment immediately. A lot of agents will do this thing where if they're not feeling like they can get the appointment, they'll actually be like, well, how about I just send you some properties instead? And then the client will always say yes, but really the only way you convert these leads is if you can meet them and show them a house in person. Rarely have I sold homes to people I haven't met with. And so hold your agents accountable and go into their follow-up boss. Make sure they're changing the stages. Make sure they're updating tasks. Make sure they're setting the correct appointments. And when you do this on a weekly basis and you look at every lead coming through, you'll notice that your appointment sets are going to go up, your METs and your sign and ultimately your escrows will start to gradually go up. But you have to do it weekly. I noticed when I would take a week off or something, it like all of a sudden the appointments would just drop weekly. Hold them accountable to it. Number 5, we do a all agent meeting every Monday at 10 a.m. So this is what our meeting agenda looks like. We'll go over a mortgage memo update from the lender. We'll go over any updates just pertinent to the company. We will also then sign up for Zillow shifts, and we will listen to live Zillow recordings from our agents. So we get on Zoom and all agents will listen to 1 or 2 Zillow calls live in front of all 30 agents in the company. And what ends up happening is every agent gets to hear each other and learn from each other and provide feedback on how to improve. And because you have your peers listening to you, there's a lot more pressure. It's like you have actually your peers following and watching your work. So you better perform to a high level. When we started implementing these spotlights, I noticed the call conversion started to go way up. Number 6, have a testing program in place. Do not automatically just give a lead to your agent. What you should do is make sure that they're qualified to do so. So here's our test out. First, we make sure their onboarding is fully completed. We make sure that they've done 25 script calls in the company. We make sure that they have a calendar, they know how to use a purchase contract, they have updated their voicemail, they have the Zillow app, they have the two-way integration set up through FUB, and they know how the process works. And then I actually start testing them on ALM. So we'll do practice calls together. And I'm very strict because I need them to be able to handle these calls under pressure and not waste these leads. If they don't graduate from this, they do not get access to Zillow leads. And so every agent coming into our company knows in order to receive Zillow leads, they have to test out, and it's on them to come to me to get tested. And so all of them want the leads, so they do, and they practice, and it makes them better. And number 7, finally, have a clear checklist for every agent on what to do after the call happens. So for us, 1, the first thing they do is they follow the script call. They need to know this. Then they also need to have a link to your lender's calendar or Calendly link so they can book a lender call for your client right there. You don't want them having to do like, hey, lender, can I get a hold of you? And he's like, yeah, sure, how's 3? And then they don't respond. It's like, you get this weird back and forth. Dude, just book a Calendly link. Like, just make it easy on yourself. Then after the call, the agents have to send a text through FUB, they have to send a picture of their business card, they log the call, they request the showing, they pause Raya or Ylopo setup, texting, they send more properties. If the client's off island, they schedule a virtual showing, then they have to update the FUB stage, then they have to schedule the appointment through FUB so the reminders and texts go out, and they have to send the Zillow friend request. And so we make it really clear. This is how you be successful with this lead source. This is exactly the steps to do. And so when I do these pipeline, these audits, I can actually just go in and be like, hey, you didn't send the business card, you didn't do this, you didn't do like, and I can hold them accountable because it's written down. And I very clearly write, this is what I expect. And if you do it, you get more leads and more sales. If you don't, you are turned off. And finally, here's a little bonus one. Make sure you arm your agents with a really effective buyer consultation. Make sure they know how to do it. They know how to sit down, explain the entire step-by-step process, and the agents can articulate the value of why your client should buy. And so we give them a buyer's packet. And the packet doesn't really talk about the whole timeline in escrow. What it really talks about is the benefits of buying a house. Why? It has case studies and third-party testimonials. It has real scenarios. It has how you actually build wealth through it. It has number breakdown for those analytical people. It has breakdowns of interest rates. It even has why maybe you shouldn't buy. So there's a little bit of reverse psychology there. Don't just assume the client wants to purchase a house and walk them through the process. Actually show them why they should buy a house and give them the real reasons and real testimonials. And when you give this to your agents, now they don't even have to remember anything. They can easily just follow this packet. I'm telling you, it is one of the most effective things your agents can do. Follow this process and you will have an extremely high conversion rate with your Zillow leads. See you later.